I want to share with you briefly why I work at WHAM. Prior to coming to WHAM, I actually held positions, national leadership that had international involvement. So I was Chief Executive Officer of this national organization or National Director of that organization. I actually oversaw staff spread out across the country, not just here in the States, but I had similar roles in other countries overseas. And then I would be on planes traveling to meetings around the world. I remember, and this wasn't uncommon, but I remember once getting invited to a meeting. I was here in the States, in a meeting in Thailand, in Bangkok. Now, if you know anything about the globe and geography, you know that's a long ways away, and it was a very, very long flights, plural. And then I would go to the hotel, I would have my meetings, get on the plane, and come back. And this was my life for actually quite some time. I'm just about at 20 years of being a chief executive of leading organizations, and the majority of that was doing just that. So why did I go from that to this? Well, about 5 years ago, my family experienced a tragedy that no parent should ever experience, and that was the death of our son. Our 3-year-old son, Judah, died tragically in a horrific accident. And I was present, my wife and children were present. And in fact, I gave him chest compressions and CPR to try and keep him alive. What I was able to achieve is to give a little amount of time to keep his heart going for the ambulance staff, the EMS, to come and take over. He was rushed to hospital, and unfortunately, 2 days later, at 3 years old, he died. That moment completely changed my life. It completely changed my priorities. It changed my faith. I remember being on my knees, looking over the broken body of my son, doing chest compressions and praying, Lord, I've served you all these years. Let this be a miracle, a story, a testimony that I can tell. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but a testimony is still being told, and it is this. God didn't design that accident, but God was with me weeping. God is with me journeying through the grief. And the anniversary of that accident is actually tomorrow. Now, obviously, when you're watching this video, we'll put the date on the video, but for me, just so you know the context of me sharing. So why did I come to WHAM? How do the two relate? Well, I realized that the best use of my life was to help people who were suffering, are suffering, and struggling. What I did before in plane flights and meetings and staff scattered around the country, it was important work, but it wasn't significant, deeply relevant, powerful work. And I knew that I had to completely change the nature of my work. I knew I still wanted to be a leader, but I wanted to do something different. When I was young, I was 20 or so, I was on a camp, and I remember the leader asked the question, so weird, but he asked the question, grab a piece of paper and a pen and write your own eulogy to your own funeral. It's a heavy thing to do when you're 20. And I remember writing vividly, serve the poor. Mark was known for his service to the poor. That was many years ago. And here I am now, because of the tragedy my family experienced, because of the legacy of my son. One way that I remember him is doing all I can to help those who suffer and are struggling. So I invite you, whatever it is that's happened or is happening in your life, I will tell you from a father who is grieving that their time does not heal. What heals is finding significance in that trauma. You know, there's words, if a child loses a parent, the English word is orphan. If a partner loses a wife, we have a word. But you think about it, what word in the English language applies when a parent loses a child? There isn't one, because it's that extreme. So whatever you're struggling and suffering with, I want to encourage you to get involved in doing something meaningful and significant. Here at WHAM, we would welcome your involvement as a volunteer. We'd welcome if you want to come and participate. If you want to find out what our needs are, go to our website and the address is on the screen. Or if you want to donate, we welcome your involvement, your partnership, because there are so many people suffering and struggling. And I invite you to join me in this journey of significance and of service. God bless.